This is a quick Luna pre-release video. In this video, I'm going to share my excitement and thoughts about why this might be a game changer for the entire recording industry. Let's get into it. So I've been on the Apollo platform since pretty much the first release of the Apollo Quad, the silver one. Since then, gotten the original twin and an octo satellite. When I first heard about Luna, I didn't know what to expect. I think I was expecting some kind of top secret super hardware, as is typical of Universal Audio. As the news kind of set in, as I kind of thought about it more, I realized how special and powerful this thing is going to be, especially those who are as heavily invested in Universal Audio as I am, as well as everybody else. Let's break down some of the big impact features for all the users. Let's take a look. Number one, Universal Audio instruments. Universal Audio is pretty much at the top of the spectrum in terms of software emulations. Apply that to classic studio instruments, and what do you get? From the recently uploaded Luna Instruments demo on March 19th or 20th, I was blown away by every one of their demos, maybe except for the brass section stuff. But the keys in particular sounded really impressive to me, and I come from a Logic background, and their keys are okay. You can customize them, do some stuff, and you can work with them, but the off-the-bat stuff that I heard is pretty impressive. In fact, let's take a listen to just that section in the demo, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's listen to this. So, that's absolutely killer. Yeah, I mean, for me, listening to it, that's what I would use. That would be my first. That would be my first choice. And I think what's really cool about it is that if you look at their, their menu, and you see in the subsections, you see they're listed as LT instruments, which is implying that they'll have paid versions of those which are expanded as well. But to know that that's like the starting point, the baseline point, really, 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 really impressive. Again, for me as a musician, and I play keys too, that grabbed my attention. And then on top of that, the piano, their Ravel, as they're calling it, the Steinway, really, really, really impressive. Let me find that in here. Incredible. And then they show off the swirling magical swirls that you get out of the keyboard itself, all the stuff that they've done recording that, or however they're doing it. Amazing. When I heard this, and I've used a lot of plugins, I've used a lot of these guys, and they sound like a digital piano. This one sounds like a Steinway to me. I played on a real Steinway, and it sounds like a real thing. It does sound like it's in a room. Obviously, there's a room sound there, and they show off that you can add more room and stuff like that, which is really cool. But when they go into those little details of playing real soft, and you're getting that swirling thing happening, blew my mind, because I have not heard that in a digital piano. So that's incredible. I think looking at the other impressive factor from what I've seen, now all of this is based on just their demos. And I mean, they're using it in real time, but who knows what it'll behave like on everyone's systems. But what it's implying is that it's plug and play, zero latency, whereas like in something like Logic right now, if I have a heavy set of plugins going on, I'll get a lot of lag going on, even with the, the balancing that the plugin system does. I'll have to switch into, the light mode or whatever it is, where it shuts off all the plugins, or some of the plugins. Anyway, it seems very impressive. Number 2, a seamless production from start to finish. Currently, using Universal Audio stuff, you use the console. You have that recording phase, which is done outside, pretty much outside of your DAW. You make your commitment decisions there, deciding whether or not you're gonna, partially record with plugins or do direct, or make those decisions outside. Think about that. Then you move to the mixing phase, where you go inside your DAW, and then use an assortment of plugins there. With Luna, it seems more like a fully loaded studio desk. And the additions of tape in the workflow, which we've seen in previous demos, and the Neve summing that they're going to be adding, just seem to make a vision of the production, which is a reimagination of the digital of the analog age, but it's all digital. Let me say that one more time. It's a vision of production. It's a reimagination of the analog age, fully digital. And I really love that. Again, I think looking from the demos that were done in NAMM, and it's kind of like their tape is in a set position. It's kind of after the recording insert phase into tape, and then on top of the tape you're putting your other inserts in the mixing phase, and that going into the summing and all that stuff. It seems really cool to me because it maybe standardizes workflows for everybody, and maybe is an attempt to get people back to maybe what they think is how you should do things. But I really like that, maybe standardization of the workflow. So I find that really cool. Number 3, a really nice design. I do love this design from what I've seen. They're pretty straightforward. I think time will tell, obviously, how easy it is to use, but I really like what I'm seeing. The search function looks really cool. Helps speed things up, when you're looking for a specific plugin. You type in the name and you pop it in, that kind of thing. How they're doing the MIDI looks great, very familiar. Their edit functions all look great. So I'm really digging the design. It seems straightforward. Let's see, concerns. My concerns with it. So I've been a Logic Pro user. I've also produced albums using Pro Tools, but I'm most comfortable with Logic. It seems like they've tried to pull all their favorite features from all the different DAWs, how they see fit, which is great. But I think things like comping seem a bit confusing to me. They did a video recently where they're showing all the DAW features, or their recording system features as they would call it. And in the comping section, I got very confused. Again, because I'm coming from Logic, where you swipe all you swipe different regions from the takes, and it kind of compiles it for you, which is awesome. And then in Pro Tools, you choose your selections, and then you got to manually kind of pop them in place and that kind of thing, which it could have its benefits. And I know that that's the side that they're leaning towards. Maybe they can add a feature like the swiping in the future, which would be cool, and maybe to do it both ways, and that way they're really killing all their competitions. But at the moment, that's something I'm a little concerned about. Other than that, I feel like there's certainly things that will pop up that might be hard to adjust to, just like with any DAW or any software you're trying to learn for the first time that might be similar to something else. You're always gonna hold it against what you learned on, that kind of thing. So I kind of am going into it understanding that. And I say that because I pretty much know that I'm going to fully commit to using Luna from here on out, which is crazy. So I hope it's I hope it's good. But I'm going to be doing reviews on Luna like crazy, so I will let you know once I get my hands on it. And now that we're here, why don't you please subscribe, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. Thanks for checking this out, and have fun creating music, and hopefully have fun creating music with Luna. We'll see. See you guys in the next one.